Welcome to everybody. I am here. Oh, I guess I should switch my camera now. Maybe we can welcome our school. I'm here live with St. Leo Catholic School. So if you all wanted to give a quick wave. Hello, good morning. We're so excited for Earth Day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here on our Zoom, and for those of us that are over on YouTube. This is Earth Day. We're going to give our schools a couple minutes to join. So while we're waiting for everybody to hop in and join us, we have a couple of poll questions to get us started. So, and remember, we're not giving away our answers, so we need to raise our hand if we think we know the answer to any of these. Do we know what gas is the most responsible for global climate change? And to our participants, you can answer in the chat, or you can answer to your teacher and they can type it in the chat for you. Kekasha, you're welcome to answer if you think you might know the answer to some of these. So I'm gonna invite one student from our school here to come up and give me what they think the answer to this one is. Oxygen, ozone, carbon dioxide, or helium. So you could come right back here. Yeah. And before you give us your answer, would you let us know what your name and age is, please?
Hello, I'm Cameron and I'm 9 years old.
Okay, and what do you think the answer for this one is?
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, he says. And you know what? I think the people in the chat agree with you. I'm seeing some carbon dioxide, someone saying C, one ozone. Let's see what the right answer is. C, carbon dioxide. Great job. All right, question 2. Which of the following can be caused by climate change? So which of these problems come from global climate change? Is it A, floods, B, stronger storms, C, heat waves, yep, or D, all of the above? So you can answer in the chat. You can chat with your classmates. What do you guys all think? Okay, first off, what's your name and age?
My name's Kashfi and I'm 9 years old.
Awesome. And what do you think the answer to this one is?
D.
D, all of the above, she says. And you know what? Chat is agreeing with you as well. I'm seeing a lot of D's, some C's for heat waves. The correct answer for this one is D, all of the above. I think we've got some climate experts in the classroom with me today. That's awesome to see. Okay, we have one more poll question. And just a reminder, if you are joining us live on YouTube, you're welcome to type your answers in the chat. My colleague Sarah would be happy to transfer them over so that we can see them. Yes. Okay, last one. What year was the first Earth Day recognized? This is a hard one. Wait, before we answer this, what year were you guys born? 2014. Okay, so one of these was after you were born. Which one do we think is the year that Earth Day was first recognized? Okay, I'm seeing Muriel Martin is thinking A. Hassan thinks A. What's your name?
My name is
We have some A's on YouTube.
And the answer is A.
Thinks the answer is A. So Raphael thinks it's A as well, but I do see a couple of us are thinking D. Well, let's see. A, wow, you guys got them all right. That's awesome. So Earth Day has been around for 55 years. That's how many years we have spent actually recognizing the environment and taking actions for the environment. So that is the official start to our Earth Day event. We are so happy to have you all today. The point of our event today is to try to inspire you all to take actions. And actually, before we started today, some of the students here were asking questions about things they can do in their yards and their communities. So I think they're really in the right place. Before we really begin, I would love to do a land acknowledgement. So I would like to acknowledge, we've got a school bell. No, all good. It's very long. So I would like to acknowledge that we are joining from Amiskwaciwa-Skaykan. This is colonially known as Edmonton, Alberta, and we're found on Treaty 6 territory. This land has been the traditional meeting grounds, gathering place, and traveling route to many groups, including the Cree, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Métis, Dene, and the Nakota Sioux for time immemorial. I also want to acknowledge all of the Indigenous peoples from all of the lands that you're joining on, since we're on a virtual platform that covers many different territories. So having a respect for the land and all of the creatures that live on it, that give you food and shelter and life, is a really important step in the reconciliation process with Indigenous groups around the world. And we're very lucky today to be able to look a little bit deeper into this connection with the land and explore how we can help give back to it in a meaningful way. So I invite you all during the event today to really keep this in the forefront of your mind as you really explore that connection that you have to the land. And hopefully that will help you in your own reconciliation process. Now, a couple reminders before we get started. This is a little outline of how the event is going to look. We will have a bit of time at the end of the event for some questions, if you have any questions for our guest presenter, or for us to share some of the art that we will hopefully get done today. So we're going to be working on a little art project. We'll have some time for sharing and questions at the end. And this is our art project. So any of our schools joining, if your teacher has not had a chance to print this off, that's not the end of the world. You can do your art on any piece of paper. So I invite everyone participating to make sure that they have a sheet of paper in front of them, a pencil, some pencil crayons. And what I invite you to do on this piece of paper is draw what Earth Day means to you. So could that be a nice little ecosystem? Maybe you want to draw your favorite animal. Maybe you want to write a message for climate change, whatever you think Earth Day means to you. That's what I would like for you guys to go ahead and start working on your sheets of paper. You are allowed to color. All right, now, without further ado, we're very excited. Our guest speaker today is world renowned, so I would like to introduce her. So Kekesha Basu is MSM, is an iconic global influencer, educator, environmentalist, and champion of women and children's rights. She's a TEDx speaker, a climate reality mentor, author, musician, peace and sustainability campaigner. Kekesha is the founder, president, and global social innovation enterprise Green Hope Foundation that works at a grassroots level in 28 countries and empowers over 500,000 young people and women, especially those from vulnerable communities, in a sustainable development process. She continues to work tirelessly to amplify the voices of young people, women, and girls in the decision-making process. So we are so excited that ACGC was able to invite you here today and make this possible. And I am going to pass it off to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And hello, everyone. Happy Earth Day. Very excited to speak with all of you and connect with all of you and see you, albeit virtually, but it's wonderful to be able to spend Earth Day with all of you. And, I wanted to share with you a bit about my journey and why I decided to do my small bit for the environment and why it's so important that you, as children, as responsible citizens of our planet, also take actions to help protect our planet. Now, before I begin, I would like to also do a land acknowledgement. I'm from Toronto, and I'd like to acknowledge that Toronto is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. And I also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. So my journey in trying to create a better world for all started right from birth. So my birthday is actually World Environment Day, 5th June. So it's another day, just like Earth Day, that tries to encourage people to take actions to protect our environment. And so I always thought that this was my life's mission, that I came onto this earth to become an eco-warrior and to help other children like me at the time protect the planet. But I didn't really know what exactly needs to be done to help solve these issues. But my turning point really came when at the age of 7. Before that, knowing that I was born on World Environment Day, seeing my parents and my grandparents always take care of the environment through their organic kitchen gardens, for example, I thought that every single person always took care of the environment in their own small way. I didn't really think that there were people who were doing not so good things to the environment. But that all changed when I was 7 years old and I was watching TV with my parents, and I came across this image of a dead bird whose stomach was full of plastic. And I remember thinking to myself that how is it possible that we as human beings, how did we allow such an innocent creature to suffer through so much pain? And that made me really, really sad. But it also made me very determined to make sure that I would stop something like this from happening again in the future. And so I decided that the very first action that I would take is planting my first tree on my 8th birthday. And since my birthday was World Environment Day, I thought that was an excellent starting point to the work that I would do to protect the planet. And as I started doing my research, as I started talking with other people, learning from others, it became very evident to me that Mother Earth and its inhabitants are in danger because, as we were talking about right before this started, we're seeing animals, birds, plants dying every day. And there is an urgent need to stop this. And we have instances where it's too hot, and then we have other instances where it's too cold. And so we all know this term now. We know it's called climate change. But back then, when I was about your age, climate change existed, but we didn't really talk about it and know about it as much as we know about it now. And the fact that you're learning it in your classrooms. And so something needed to be done to address all of these problems that were affecting our environment. So I decided that I would try to work on these issues. So I would try to work on energy aspects. So how can we be more energy efficient? Try to work on the food aspect. So how can I eat more sustainably to help preserve our planet? And the biodiversity aspect. How can I protect the plants, animals, birds, insects around me? And so I started engaging my fellow children at the time to work on all of these, to address all of these issues. And we were all like about your age at the time. And then my work somehow caught the attention of the United Nations. And then I was invited to speak at the largest conference on sustainable development in the world in 2012. And I was 12 years old then, and I was speaking there. I was sharing my experiences. And then I realized that there were 50,000 people over there who were attending the conference. And there were only 5 people who were under the age of 18. And me being 12, I was one of them. And I thought that it was so unfair that all of these people were talking about our future, but we as children had no say in deciding our future, even though we were living on this planet. And so on my return home, I decided that I would work with other children my age to create this platform that teaches other children about why it's so important to protect the planet, and then work with them to implement ground level actions. And that is how I founded Green Hope Foundation. So now we work in 28 different countries with over 500,000 people. And our work seeks to protect the environment and empower people, and especially children, just like all of you, to take actions that protect the environment. So what do? We start off with very simple actions. So we start by planting trees. The very first tree that we planted almost 12 years ago, from there to now in 2024, we have planted over 1 million trees globally. So we've planted trees here in Canada, in Barbados, in Democratic Republic of the Congo. And not only do we plant trees because we think that's the simplest yet most effective way to help stop climate change, we also plant mangroves. So can anyone tell me what mangroves are?
You've got St. Leo stumped. I see a lot of head shakes.
No, it's okay if you can't. I can explain what they are. I see there's something in the chat. trees. So yes, there are types of plants, but they're very special plants because they are only found in certain areas of the world. So towards the equator, where it's hotter and it's more humid, and they're able to survive better there. But they actually help fight climate change a lot because they help to take in even more carbon dioxide than like normal trees, and they help protect the biodiversity, like the plants and animals who depend on them. So these mangroves are very, very important. And even though, we in Canada don't have native mangrove species because we are like, in really cold areas of the world, we still have a role to play in protecting them because because of the waste that is generated sometimes goes and gets stuck in mangrove roots. So it means they can't breathe, and which means they die. So they can't take in that carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. But mangroves help protect communities from climate change induced disasters as well. And that is why we plant these mangroves all across the world. And then the other aspect that I mentioned, at the beginning of all of these different ways to help protect our planet. One of the ways that I realized that would be a really good way to work on it would be through clean energy. And can anyone tell me what their definition of clean energy would be? What is clean energy?
I do see a couple hands here. What do you think?
Clean energy is probably like energy that was passed off by various stuff.
Passed on from various areas. Yeah, another idea? Anybody else?
I see in the chat that there are people with writing wind made from earth, solar power. So yeah, those are all types of clean energy. And as a child, as someone who was like your age starting out at the time, I thought that it was very cool to see that we could utilize technology that was available to help solve a lot of these issues, and that would help solve climate change. And so I started learning more about solar energy, so energy from the sun, wind energy, hydroelectric power. So here in Canada, we have like a lot of our renewable energy comes from hydroelectric power, geothermal energy, so energy from the earth. So in places like the Philippines, for example, there is a lot of geothermal energy that is used. Tidal energy, so utilizing the tides, biomass, so coming like right from our plants. And I thought, okay, so working with other young people who are my age, like wondering what can we do with this energy to help make a difference? So how does this clean energy help? And so we thought that we could use clean energy to teach other children about why it's so important to protect the planet. And so we created our solar powered mobile libraries. So these take books to the doorstep of thousands of children who do not often have the opportunity to go to school, and trying to educate them about what simple actions they can take to help protect their local environment. And it's powered by solar energy, so it's very, very eco-friendly. We realized that a lot of the energy that was being wasted was coming from the street lights all around us. And so we decided to power the street lamps that lit up at night with, or even during the late evenings, with solar power. So harnessing the sun's energy during the day and then lighting up in the evenings. And a lot of the schools that we've built and that we work with, we also put solar panels on them so that the students are able to work and study in an environment that is solar powered and super eco-friendly. And we teach young people, children, and adults also on how they can use solar cookers. So it's very cool to see, as you can see in this video, that it's actually a really good and effective way of cooking food and ensuring that you're able to use the sun's energy to have a good and healthy meal. And we are members in, for example, here in Canada, as well as in India and Bangladesh and Kiribati. use these as well. It's really a wonderful way of making sure that we can eat food in a way that is eco-friendly. And so that, speaking about food, that brings me to food and climate. So this is one of the ways that we realize that, okay, how can we as young people, work towards addressing the food and climate issues? So understanding that there is a lot of food waste that happens, like not just food waste, but wasted water as well. So what could we do to address this? So we decided that we could grow our own food. So how do we do this? Our members in Dubai, they grow their own food in their balcony or terraces. In Bangladesh and even here in Canada, our members, they grow their own food in their apartments. In other parts of the world, they grow it in their backyard gardens, or even like they create kitchen gardens. And some of them even grow it in glasses of water. And I see that White Rock has written that you have a school garden, and that is exactly what we try to do with a lot of the students that we work with, having these kitchen gardens in our homes and in our schools, because these are simple actions that can be taken. And of course, we don't use pesticides. We use composting instead of pesticides, teaching students about what they can do to create compost. And we see how it tastes better. And I see St. Leo has a school garden as well. That is awesome. And yeah, and then you know like what the benefits are with that. Like it tastes better. You can grow more varieties, no pesticides. You save on a lot of water, waste less food. You have seasonal, local, fresh food. It gives you you can do a lot of exercise. Like it is kind of for physical and mental well-being. You save time and money. You don't use plastic, and you are very happy in nature. And of course, the last benefit, you help fight climate change. You're saving the planet. So that was like the other aspect that we worked to address. And then we were like, okay, we were working to grow our own food, save plants, but what about like the rest of our biodiversity? How do we protect them? So we started learning more about the issues that do exist across the world in terms of that affect biodiversity. So can anyone tell me what this turtle is trying to eat right now?
We've got someone here. Does somebody want to come up closer so they can hear? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you had it. Okay, say it out loud, someone.
Jellyfish.
Did you get it? Could you hear them? Jellyfish.
Okay, yes, absolutely. That is correct. And I see that Owen Hassan also say jellyfish. Yes, we have lots of jellyfish. So that is correct. But what we often see that these turtles mistake for jellyfish is plastic bags because, well, they look very similar to jellyfish. And that poses a very big problem because it means that they can't digest it and then they choke to that. And that is like absolutely not good at all. Okay, yes. Was worried the previous one was plastic. Yes, exactly. So it does look a lot like that. And turtles aren't often able to discern which is jellyfish, which is plastic. And so, you see that if our waste goes into the ocean, you have plastic straws that get stuck in the noses of turtles. So it blocks their breathing system. You see how it affects like creatures all across the world, those that get entangled in plastic, the birds with their belly full of plastic, like the one I showed you right at the beginning. And, this is a very telling image because this is a whale shark. It's the largest fish in the world. And it's not dangerous at all. However, the plastic bag next to it is like 10 times more dangerous because it can actually kill. And so it really shows us, as humans, what are we doing to our planet? And we see this in cigarette stubs. So it's not even like just one kind of plastic that is affecting our ecosystems. So cigarette stubs, it's like smoking is just very bad for your health and for the environment, but they also have a very difficult to disintegrate plastic called cellulose acetate. You'll learn about it as you grow older in science, in your science classes, and it just doesn't degrade. So it's just stuck there. And that is really bad for our planet. And all of this plastic often breaks down into our oceans and into our soils. And it's called microplastics. So it's very, very, very tiny. You can't see them. And even with plastic bottles. And what happens is that this goes into our fish, it goes into the plants, through the soil, and eventually it ends up in our bodies. And so you have all of these issues that come up from plastic being found in our food. And that is obviously really, really bad. So not only is it bad for our environment, now it's even bad for us. And that is one of the main reasons why it's so important to work to address, to help solve these issues. So we, again, were like, okay, the simplest actions are sometimes the most effective. And so we conduct cleanups all across the world. So in Norway, they have very unique formations called fjords. We have some of those in Canada too, where we conduct cleanups there. In Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, it's known for its like lot of canals. And so we do plastic fishing there. So we quite literally use a net to fish out the plastic from the canals. We do beach and park cleanups. So whether that's in the UAE or USA. And here in Canada, so Toronto has the world's largest city ravine system. And so we often forget about how amazing this ecosystem is, having it right in the middle of the city. But we work to help conserve this through our cleanups. And then we take the children that we work with on field trips to waste recycling plants. Have any of you ever been to a waste management plant? Anyone? I see a few hands. Ace, can someone tell me what it was like what you saw there?
Did you want to tell us what you saw when you were there? Do you remember? No, we're feeling shy.
Okay, anyone, don't. I see there's raised hands over there for Miss Leanne.
Hey, Jacob, come up to the screen. He's on his way. So you have to talk right here.
There was like a lot of plastic and there was garbage and stuff it was all getting like mushed up into like bricks and stuff.
Yes, that is excellent. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? I see raised hands.
A crew. You got to come up here. Yeah. What was it like when you were at a recycling plant? You have to be loud.
There was like big machines and garbage on it. And then it gets dumped into like a bin. It gets mushed up.
Yep.
Awesome. And we actually have a couple that wanted to share over here as well. So back up a little bit, right over here. Yeah. One more step back. There you go. There you go. Yeah. So what did you see when you were at the waste management?
So I saw like big trucks carrying a lot of plastic bags with containers, cans, and beers and all those, and then they would put it into something and they would donate it to like other people and give it to them so they can make money off.
Yeah. So in case it was a little quiet, so lots of cans and plastic getting sorted out so that they can recycle it. Anything else?
Downstairs was quite stinky.
Stinky.
They were like pushing out like kind of like metal scraps, I think. And they're like breaking like the glass and then forming it in like a machine.
Very cool.
And they're like kind of like turn it into something.
Awesome. So yeah, lots. So the cool thing is our students here in Edmonton, thank you, actually have like a world-renowned kind of waste management facility. So they are seeing a lot of plastic and glass and aluminum recycling.
So thank you so much for sharing. And that is like, again, you're coming from a place where you know about a lot of these challenges, you're being exposed to them, that, okay, this is a problem that needs to be addressed, but not every single child around the world knows about it. Like they think that, okay, we're wasting this item, but that's about it. Like you throw it in the trash can and it ends there. But even not just children, even adults, like a lot of people around the world don't know where their waste lands up. And I see that in the chat, someone wrote sorting floors. So everything that you said is absolutely right. And that is why we conduct these field trips, to make sure that children, just like all of you, know where their waste lands up, why it's so important to segregate and separate out your waste. And even like, if I'll just go back a slide to the plastic. So even plastic is like, we have different types of plastic that get recycled in different ways. So if you take a plastic bottle, it's like the plastic bottle is one type, like actual bottle, the cap, the plastic bottle ring, the label as well around it are all different. So even when, you're throwing away your waste and just throwing it in the plastic container, it's like when you go to the recycling plant, they have to sort it out again because there are different types of plastic and they need to be recycled in different ways. So it's a very complicated process. And of course, we need to ensure that we do our bit from our side before it ends up in the recycling plant. And not just that, like in the Netherlands, for example, we work on e-waste recycling. So from our computers and phones, the metals that end up in recycling plants, they recycle that. And we work on actually going out there and protecting our biodiversity. So here in Canada, we work to protect our freshwater turtles. So we have a lot of different freshwater species that are getting threatened and endangered because of climate change and because of us as humans. Because sometimes, we build cottages in their habitats. People sometimes run them over. Climate change is destroying their habitats, making the waters way, way drier than usual. And then we work on sea turtle conservation across the world, and we adopt animals. So this means that, we're not actually going out there and keeping them as pets, because that's not good. We try to utilize the resources that we have and give it to institutions that help protect these animals. So this is something you can talk to your parents about, or if you've already done it, that would be really awesome. So we've adopted mother and daughter koala pair Kia and Alinta. We've adopted one of the last two remaining northern white rhinos in the world. Her name is Fatu. We've adopted a hawksbill turtle named Nadia. We have adopted another mother-daughter pair, Gutangara and Inara. And most recently, we adopted a baby African elephant called Kamili. And so, it's really about what you can do to create a better world. So reducing emissions, trying to eat locally grown organic food, planting as many trees as possible, trying to conserve water in your own way, practicing rainwater harvesting, for example, thinking about your energy needs. What can be turned off? Can we use solar power? And following a net zero waste policy so that you can be as eco-friendly as possible. So going towards reusing versus recycling, because it's better to reuse than utilize all of that energy for recycling, and growing your own food. So, and which a lot of you already do. And so I know I have like a few minutes left, but I wanted to do a quick quiz just
Let's
to
do it.
Just to get some answers from you. So this is very, very rapid fire. Just, shout it out or write your answers in the chat. Okay, so name this endangered mammal most commonly found in Canadian waters, and it's also called the unicorn of the sea. Is it whale, narwhal, shark, or dolphin?
Call it out.
Narwhal.
Narwhal. That is the correct answer.
One.
Narwhal's big.
It is narwhal. Yes. So I see in the chat as well, people have written narwhal. So great job. Okay. Name this mouse-like animal. It is known to live in very high altitudes in Canada. Is it a mouse, pika, gerbil, or a rat?
Pika.
Okay. A lot of B and a lot of pikas. Yes, that is the correct answer. Great job, everyone. Okay, now kind of going away from Canada. Name this animal found in Australia. It is the largest burrowing mammal in the world, so it goes underground. Okay, great. Yes, answers A and B. Yep, between wombat and capybara. Yep, it is the wombat. Great job. Okay, now name this animal in Canada that is slowly getting endangered. Is it the badger, wolf, okay, I hear answers. I see. Maybe. Yep. Okay, it is Wolverine. People in the chat and in person have answered. Amazing job. All right, this is the largest member of the cat family. Name it. Is it liger, tigon, tiger, or leopard?
Okay, say it loudly. And a lot of tigers here too.
I see a lot of like between A and C, and it's a very close competition. So it's actually a liger. Tiger is like naturally the largest, but liger is a cross between lion and tiger, and they're becoming more common now, and it is larger than a tiger. So a liger was the correct answer. Last few questions. What is the name of this critically endangered flightless bird? So it's found in New Zealand. Is it a kakapo? Is it a parrot, kiwi, or macaw?
St. Leo is thinking kiwi, but there's some arguing.
I see some answers in the chat that are C, A, D, A. There's a lot of unknown. Yep. All right. I can give you the answer. And another one saying A. So the correct answer, which a lot of you did get, is kakapo. So really good job. Next question. This is the fastest swimming of all the penguin species. Name it. Is it an emperor, yentu, macaroni, or African penguin? They're all real penguin species, by the way. See some A.
I've gotten one of every answer in this class, so they do not have a consensus here.
Okay, I see.
Hey, what do you think it is?
Anyone?
Penguin. Emperor.
Macaroni fans, some A. Okay, the correct answer is actually the gentoo penguin. So it's the fastest swimming. Emperor is one of the largest. Macaroni and African penguins are much smaller, but none of them are as good of a swimmer as this penguin right here. All right, this, again, a Canadian animal. Name this endangered species. Is it the caribou? Is it the elk, moose, or antelope? I see raised hands, so feel free to shout it out.
We've got a B, A, and a D over here.
A, D. All right. Yep, I see in the chat.
What do you think? Oh, I had to mute it.
I see like there's a lot of C's that are coming about. Okay, and some A's and something. All right, the correct answer is A, caribou. With moose, you'll actually be able to see that there's a lot more padding between their horns, not so much for the caribou, and their face shape is a little different, but very close. Second last question. This species of turtle in Ontario is known for its biting ability. What is it called? Map, spiny soft shell, wood, or snapping turtle?
Thanks.
Do it. Yeah.
Snapping turtle.
I see a lot of correct answers.
Snapping turtle. Snapping turtle.
All right, it is the snapping turtle, and there was a lot of consensus around that, so great job. And last question. This is the world's smallest penguin species. What is it called? Is it little penguin, tiny penguin, baby penguin, or small penguin?
Most of us are thinking baby penguin over here.
Penguin. Okay, lots of debate. Yep, I've seen B, C, D, B, C. All right. And the correct answer is actually little penguin. So it's again, very real species of penguin getting endangered, but it's the smallest. So that is my journey in trying to create a better world. And I hope that I was able to share with you some tips on creating a better world in your own small way. And it's really important that, you as children feel and understand that you are global citizens who have like the ability and the power to create change, no matter how small that is, because that change contributes to this larger global change that creates impact. And it might take a lot of time. And as someone who started out at your age, I've seen that, how much time and effort it takes, but it is worth it to see your first tree grow, to be able to grow your own food, to be able to create a better world, not just for yourselves, but for others. So for this Earth Day, where, we're in this midst of so many crises, it's so important that as children and young people, you take the opportunity to be the best versions of yourselves, protecting the planet. So thank you very much. And I'm so happy that I was able to speak to you this Earth Day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. My students here were very excited about the questions and they are definitely some Earth Day experts now. So we do only have a few minutes left for the live event. We can maybe go till about 12:50, but if you have to hop out, we understand. But in the next 5 or so minutes, I invite anyone participating. If you have a question for our guest presenter, you can either use your raised hand emoji and you can actually unmute and ask your question. Or if you are like our friends in Brazil and you are joining us live on the YouTube, you can type your questions in the chat. All of our friends on Zoom, you're welcome to type your questions in the chat as well. While we just think about maybe 1 or 2 good questions for our guest presenter, I just have a couple last minute reminders I want to give you. Number 1, this is a great wrap-up activity to do with your classes as soon as this event is done. It's a little quiz where they can just think about what they learned today, tell us what they thought of the event. The fun thing is when you do this quiz, it will tell you which national park you are. Are you Banff National Park? Are you Yellowstone National Park? So this is a great fun quiz to do after this event is done. And one last reminder I have for you before we get to sharing our pictures. If you have not done so already, please sign up for our newsletter. So the school that I'm joining from here today, St. Leo, if they would like to get involved in another live event, the best way to do that is to sign up for the newsletter, because then they know when all of our live events are coming. Okay, those are my last couple reminders. So what we're going to do now while we wait for some questions to come in is we're going to get some of our students to come up and share their artwork. So I have the camera facing this way now. So what I want you to do is, if you are interested in sharing your art, we are going to make a very quiet line starting right here to come up and show your art. And as well, I think we have another class that has video. If you have art or questions you would like to share on video, we would love to welcome you to do that as well. Okay, so my first artist, when you come up, if you could just let us know your name and then you can show us your art.
My name's Kashfi and I'm 9 years old.
Oh my gosh, look at the color. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, up next.
And Dottie, this is mine.
We've got some beautiful trees.
Hello, I'm Cameron.
Okay, wait, say it again.
Hello, I'm Cameron. I'm 9 years old.
All right, oh, yeah. Look at these Earth Day. These are so beautiful. Okay.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Oh, this one is like we're zooming out and seeing the whole Earth. What a good view. Really shows the interconnection. Sorry, say your name again.
Hi, I'm Emily.
Beautiful. Okay. This is so nice. Oh, so this is like healthy Earth versus unhealthy Earth. Is that what it's showing?
Oh, no, this is like before we started cleaning up and after.
Okay, so she says this is before we started cleaning up and after. That's awesome. Thank you.
That is exactly the impact we see, honestly. When we
Great. What's your name?
My name is Kamana.
Okay. Oh, and let's bring it even closer, right up here so they can see it. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. Okay, so we've got similar. So this is our Earth when it's not clean and our Earth when it is clean. Awesome. Thank you so much.
My name's Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, nice. Thank you. All right, right up here. Beautiful. Okay, can you tell me what some of these things are saying?
Earth Day is important to me because when I was young, I came from a dangerous place. The city I lived in was so polluted. When I came to Canada, I was amazed. There was no pollution, and I want to keep it that way.
Beautiful. So I'll show you guys that one again. Thank you.
My name is Sophia, and I just do stuff that I love about the earth.
Stuff that she loves about the earth. I love all the green in this one. It's perfect. Thank you. Hi.
My name is Landon, and I drew people picking up garbage.
He drew people picking up garbage?
Yes.
What a great activity for Earth Day. How many of us are planning on picking up some garbage today for Earth Day? Nice to see. All right, last one.
So my name is Raphael. I just drew some stuff that some people do in the earth.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. This is awesome.
So beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. So thank you very much. Thank you to all of you here at St. Leo for sharing your art with our schools that are joining us. We're getting some in the chat saying that your art is great and they're loving the sharing. I want to say thank you very much, ACGC for allowing this event to happen and for sponsoring the event. And Kekasha, thank you so much for your wonderful and inspiring presentation. And of course, thank you to all of our schools who joined us today, because joining this event has helped the earth, because I think after this event, any of the students participating today are inspired to take action. So I wanted to thank everyone again so much, and happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. Thank you so much for having me. So happy that I was able to spend Earth Day with all of you.
Wonderful. Did we want to give her one last big wave and a thank you?
Thank you so
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great Earth Day.
Take care. Bye.
All right, Sarah, I'm going to hop off quick and do this quiz with the kids.